Hello, hello, good night, everyone. It is so good to be on here live again in the BEC. Listen, how are you? All right, I know, listen, it might have been a crazy Wednesday, but guess what? You are halfway through. You're almost to the finish line. Be encouraged. Be encouraged. Stay the course. You got this. And I'm so happy that you logged in tonight in the BEC so that we can go ahead and get down to the nitty gritty. Remember, our theme all month is how to get the bag, really, being a six-figure educator, right? So we're talking about six-figure success all month. If you missed yesterday's live, you missed an amazing learning opportunity because we had Coach Jackie in here. She is our money mindset coach, and she was dropping gems. I mean, if you missed it, go ahead, go back, catch the replay. I leave the replays in the group for about a week or two. So go back, backtrack, and make sure you catch the replay. Look, I am excited because what I've got for you tonight is amazing. I want to make sure that our members of the BEC always get quality information, get tips and tools that they can actually implement right away, right? And so we're helping you this month get the bag. We're helping you this month make sure that you go from 5 figures to 6 figures, right? That's what we're doing this month. And so I'm really excited about the change that's coming. I'm really excited about the transformation that you're about to experience. What I want you to do is when you experience that transformation, drop in my DMs, let me know. I really want to hear from you to make sure that we are being as impactful as we are setting out to be. Okay, look, as I say all the time, I'm short. I'm too short to be long winded. I really want to get down to the nitty gritty. I've got something extremely special for you today. We're talking about your untapped opportunities in education. So, the untapped opportunities in education. So yes, we're talking about in the brick and mortar, in traditional education, in the structure of traditional education, right? And so if you are looking to move up and not necessarily out, this live is specifically for you. If you're looking to move up and not out, this live is specifically for you. If you are looking to move out, tomorrow's live is all for you. So tonight, if you're looking to move up in education, I'm specifically talking to you. If that's you, if you're looking to move up, go ahead and drop a one in the chat. Go ahead, drop a one in the chat. I want to hear from you. I want this to be highly interactive. So I even included an activity for us tonight to do together. So if I'm talking to you and you're looking to move up and not out necessarily, go ahead and drop that one in the chat. I want to see the ones. I want to see the ones. Let's see the ones. Let's see the ones. All right. If that is you, if you are looking to move up and not out, go ahead and drop that one in the chat. As you are getting that ready, as you are engaging, I also want to remind you that we would love to see who exactly is commenting, right? And so because of that, there's a StreamYard link that I've dropped in the BEC. Go ahead and make sure you click on that StreamYard link so that you can register your profile. It's literally one click. It's very easy. Register your profile because we want to see exactly who is commenting, and we want to, of course, engage and have that engagement be as personalized as possible. So if you can go ahead and click that StreamYard link to make sure your profile is registered, that would be amazing. Look, I am not going to belabor this. I know that the time is 8:26 on the East Coast. And so because of that, and I know it's a school night, because of that, I'm going to go ahead and move forward. We're talking about untapped opportunities in education. The untapped opportunities in education here in the BEC tonight. Because like I said, you may want to, instead of moving out, you've got a lot of time vested in traditional education, in the brick and mortar. And we don't want to just say, okay, look, Just get out. Just get out. It doesn't matter. You're a few years away from retirement. Just go. Just go. Absolutely not. I want you as your coach to make the best decision for you and your career. Okay. So I'm not telling you to jump ship. I'm not telling you to get out, right? I'm telling you there are ways to move up in education. So we're not just talking about moving out, we're talking about moving up. So we've got to understand that there are untapped opportunities in education. And so this is what we're talking about tonight. We're definitely talking about the untapped opportunities in education. I got a little tongue-in-cheek thing. The Jeffersons, one of my favorite. Growing up, this was one of my favorites, right? We're talking about moving on up, not moving out. We're talking about moving on up. So tonight we're talking about, number one, how to move on up. We're talking about the possibilities. Oh, the possibilities are endless, and you will see. You're going to be taking a lot of notes because I'm dropping possibility after opportunity after possibility after opportunity. So it's going to be a lot. So make sure you get your pen and pad ready because I'm dropping nothing but gems tonight for you who are looking to move up in education. Lastly, we're talking about how. You sit on these lives or you hear these webinars and no one tells you how to do this. I'm not with that. I am a true educator. So because of that, I give you the what. And of course, as always, each and every night, I give you the how. This is how you do this, right? And so let's go ahead and move forward in our live tonight with these untapped opportunities in education, right? Have you ever thought about moving up? Have you ever considered moving up in education, right? Because there is so much potential that exists in traditional education in terms of moving up the ladder, so to speak, the proverbial ladder, that our people just feel as though because the classroom isn't where it's at, but I've been here so long, I gotta chunk deuces. I gotta be out. And that's not necessarily true. That's not necessarily true because there are tons of opportunities within traditional education that foster growth, that foster innovation, and that foster your leadership. So I don't want to sleep on those opportunities because some of those opportunities may align with your professional goals. And so I don't want to sleep on any opportunity. I want to make sure to present as the coach and strategist that I am. I want to make sure to present the BEC with all opportunities, with every opportunity I possibly can. But let's just go ahead and feel what we're feeling for a second. I want you to reflect on this. Have you ever felt, and this is just me and you talking. It's just me and you talking, okay? Nobody's looking over your shoulder. Nobody's looking at your responses. It's just me and you talking, okay? Have you ever felt that while as Black and brown educators, our roots lie deep within the classroom, our branches could stretch even further than that? Making containing ourselves in that classroom, keeping ourselves in that classroom, like we're not reaching our full potential. See, because as Black educators, midway in our journey, we've faced unique challenges. We've honed in on our skills, right? We've really perfected our skills. We've cultivated our passion. And the next chapter, so you may be realizing the next chapter, your next move is probably not where you are right now. Your next move may be educational leadership. And ask yourself this: what if your next chapter could have you drawing strength from your current experience? What if your current experience is just there and it's just there for you to use as a stepping stone? It's just there for you to use so that you can pivot smoothly into the role that you've destined to be in. Just think about it. Think about it for a minute. We rarely challenge ourselves professionally. We rarely challenge ourselves personally, but once a year when we talk about what's your New Year's resolution. But we rarely challenge ourselves professionally. And I'd like you, as a member of the Black Educator Circle, I'd like you to challenge yourself professionally. I'd like you to pause, right? And consider the heights you could reach within education. See, for us Black educators, especially those of us midway through our careers, the pathway up isn't just a trajectory. It's a testament to our resilience, to our experience, and to our commitment to our kids and to the future. So I want us to envision together tonight, briefly, I want us to envision together how to ascend to that pivotal leadership role that's right within the system, because that role can very well amplify your impact and redefine the educational narrative from within. That might be what you're looking to do. You might be looking to redefine, to shift the narrative from within. You might be looking to make a greater impact from within, right? So we're not in the BEC to just call you to come out of education. Absolutely not. I want to make sure I clear that up. I've got a lot of people on Instagram, a lot of educators on Instagram. When they watch my reels on Instagram, they drop in my DMs and they're like, there's a teacher shortage. How could you ask teachers, to come out of the classroom and take leadership positions? We're short-staffed teachers as it is. Like they're really upset, and they take the call very personally. But I want us to understand something. I want us to understand that we need to make room for the incoming. And just because you've been in that position for so long and you're so comfortable in it doesn't mean you were created to stay there for eternity. So be careful. Be careful. You know I'm talking to you. You know exactly who I'm talking to. Solely because you've been feeling that it's time to go. But it may not be time to leave traditional ed altogether. It may be time for you to rise and reach the full potential that you were created for. So just take a minute, contemplate on moving up, contemplate on moving up in education. If this is resonating with you, please drop something in the chat. I want to see you. I want to hear from you. I want you to interact. Drop something in the chat if this is resonating with you. If this is resonating with you, drop a 1 in the chat. Or you can even type me, right? If this is resonating with you. I also have a brief activity that I'd like us to do together tonight, which will help provide some clarity to you. A lot of us black and brown educators, we're like, I'm unclear as to where I need to go. I've got a short activity that I'd like you to do. You've got a pen and paper handy. What I want you to do is I'd like you in this moment to go ahead and write down 3 skills you believe are your strongest. What are your 3 strongest skills? Like, if this is my responsibility, I got this. These are the skills that I know my skill set. Write down your 3 strongest skills. Under your 3 strongest skills, I want you to write down 3 roles, excluding the role that you currently have. Write down 3 roles that you'd like to explore. So I'll give you a minute to do that. So we're writing our 3 strongest skills. And we're then under the 3 strongest skills, we're going to write our 3 roles that we would be interested in, or, the 3 roles that intrigue us, the 3 roles that we'd like to explore. It's okay. You got this. Don't second guess yourself. Write that one down. Write that one down. Stop doubting yourself. Write that one down. All right. All right. All right. Now, look, here's the thing. We are going to dig deep tonight, and I'm really excited to have you with us. Now that you've written down the three strongest roles, right? The three roles that you'd like to explore, excuse me, and the three skills you believe are your strongest. Let's now talk about the possibilities. Oh, the possibilities. I wanted to copy and paste the places you'll go, but I got an issue with Dr. Seuss, so we not gonna go there. But here we go. The possibilities. These are things that I don't think, these are roles that you may not have thought of, but I'm spilling the tea tonight. So I want to make sure that every live is, very impactful. And so because of that, I'm spilling the tea tonight. With that being said, guys, look at this is just some of the popular possibilities that educators that leap out of the classroom leap into. Okay, these are just 9 possibilities. So this is not the end all be all. So I want to make sure that everyone knows and sees that this isn't it. Okay, these are just the popular ones. All right, so I hope everyone sees that these are just the possible ones. Let's talk. These are just the popular ones. Let's talk. Let's go from 1 to 9. All right. I know you don't have all night. It's okay. Let's go ahead and go from 1 to 9. We're talking about instructional leadership. I know you haven't thought of this. You could be the principal. Come out of the classroom, be the principal, be the assistant principal. Come out of the classroom, be the head of schools, right? Be the head of your school. If that might seem out of your reach, you can even be a department chair or the head of the leadership team, right? So when we talk about be the head of the school, be the principal, be the assistant principal, be the vice principal, be the department chair or head, right? That's what we're talking about when we're referencing instructional leadership. So all of that falls under number 1. All of that falls under number 1. Which one, as I'm sure you're reading this with me, from 1 to 9, which one piques your interest? Which one or which ones pique your interest? I want to see. Drop the number in the chat. Even if you're watching this on replay, I'd like you to go ahead, take a minute, drop the number in the chat. I'm curious. Do we have educators who are looking to shift into instructional leadership? Do we have educators in here who are more interested in CNI, which would be curriculum and instruction? Do we have educators interested in PD? Are you interested in technology and innovation? What is your interest? What piques your interest? So go ahead and drop the number in the chat. Which one piques your interest? If none of these pique your interest, what does pique your interest? I want you to go ahead and drop the name in the chat. But under instructional leadership, which is number 1, we've got principal, head of school, assistant principal, or vice principal, depending on what area you live in. We also have department chair or head, right? And so that means you're leading a specific department. You coordinate curriculum and instruction for different subject areas. And so with that, we also have number 2. Does number 2 pique your interest? Maybe CNI, maybe curriculum and instruction, right? Under curriculum and instruction, your district may have a curriculum coordinator or a curriculum specialist. Look into that. Because you not only oversee the design and the implementation of the curriculum, but in some districts, you also oversee the assessment of the school or district curriculum, right? So that might pique your interest. You could also be under curriculum and instruction is also instructional coach or instructional specialist. Here in Philadelphia, it's, they have different acronyms, right? It's called SBTL, School-Based Teacher Leader. Okay. And when I was in Texas, it's called Instructional Coach. But Instructional Coach Specialist, or SBTL, could, be your way out of the classroom and assisting teachers. That might be your passion. You could also be a reading or literacy specialist. Listen, reading/literacy specialists are in high demand. Why? Because literacy is so low right now, especially coming off the pandemic. So these are things to look into. Number 3, I'm not going to keep you long. Number 3, specialized instruction support. We're talking about you can be the special education coordinator, or the other half of that people don't think about. You could also be the gifted and talented program coordinator. That also falls under specialized education support. We don't talk about GT enough, right? Special education support is synonymous with special education coordinator, or working with students with special needs, or educators that educate students with special needs. But the other side of that is gifted and talented, the GT program. So that might pique your interest. I got another one for you, right? Have you ever thought of operations and logistics? Think about operations and logistics. So what does that look like? That could be dean of students, right? And your focus would be student discipline, attendance, behavior, right? It could be behavioral specialist. It could also be athletic director. I've got someone in the Leadership Academy right now. She's the AD. She's the athletic director, right? And she manages the school sports programs. She manages the coaches. She handles the schedules. She handles the facilities. She handles all of it. And she's loving every minute of it. So with that, that's her passion. So she falls under operations and logistics. I know you haven't heard of this. I know you haven't thought of this. What about counseling and student services? Did you think? I know a lot of educators that went out of the classroom and they are now counselors, and they are in charge of student support services. So you can be a school counselor, you can be a guidance counselor, you can be a college and career counselor. You can also be a student activities coordinator. These fall under counseling and student services. I hope I'm helping someone here. I hope the light bulb is going off in terms of the possibilities that you have if you want to stay in traditional education. Here's another thing. I'm dropping gems. We got another one. Have you thought of community and family engagement? A lot of people sleep on that community and family engagement, those roles, but you can be a community liaison. You can also be a parent coordinator. And some people are like, does that pay? Yes, it absolutely does. Some large districts have parent coordinators, family coordinators, community coordinators on payroll. It depends on the size of your district. If not, then these are positions that you can find at the city level, at the state level, excuse me, even at the city level, right? And so you may have to, put a little toe outside the school. So this doesn't, some depending on the area and how large the region is, you may have to step outside of the brick and mortar, but you will be working closely with the people inside the schools. Okay. Here's another one. And I know you haven't thought of this. PD. You may love PD so much that you want to coordinate PDs. If that's your thing, you at the district level, baby. Exactly. Professional development coordinator. Have you ever heard of it? Be a PD coordinator, right? You plan, you coordinate, and you sometimes deliver training and development opportunities for all staff. Here's another thing. You probably haven't heard of this or thought of this. Are you good with technology? Are you the go-to educator in the building that everyone runs to when something happens with their technology? Guess what? There's a place for that at the district level. It's called the Technology Integration Specialist, TIS. What you do is you help educators incorporate technology effectively into their lessons. That's the TIS, Technology Integration Specialist. Also, you could be a media specialist. You could also look to be a librarian. These are all key roles. Librarians, media specialists, they manage the school's library. They assist students and staff in using media resources effectively. All of this pulls you out of the classroom. Depending on the size of your district, some districts might say, well, look, you stay in the classroom, but if you do this, we'll give you a stipend for this. It depends on how small or how large your district is. Here's the next thing. I got one more for you. Have you thought about testing and assessment? Maybe you want to be the assessment coordinator. There's room for that. You manage standardized testing procedures, data collection, and analysis. This is what you do. You then, depending on how large your district is, you can then also be the liaison and help teachers in the classrooms, right, analyze their data. Some even go as far as not only data analysis and interpretation, but some assessment coordinators even help teachers come up with next steps and how to use the data effectively. How to be data driven. I'm sure you guys have heard that buzzword, data driven instruction. Well, it's great to be data driven if we know how to read the data. If this is your thing, if your skill set is in reading data, in interpreting data, and applying the data, effectively using that data to drive the transformation in your classroom, I'm telling you, you have a key gift that all districts need. So with that, guys, these are just some ideas, some possibilities that I'm sure you haven't thought of that I'd like to bring your attention to. Lastly, because I'm too short to be long-winded and it is a school night, let's talk about the how. I don't like to just drop gems and then leave you without the how to apply these things, right? So as an educator of educators, I want you to understand not just the possibilities, but how we go about this thing. I want you to make sure that you are a lifelong learner. You know you don't know everything. I know you don't know everything. So we've got to seek continuous professional development. And because you've got to seek continuous professional development, what that means is I got to make sure to tap into all types of traditional and non-traditional learning opportunities. So go to that PD that you need. If your district doesn't provide impactful professional development, some districts don't, then what you got to do is go to that conference that you need to register for, that conference that you need to be at. You know the conference that I'm talking about. Register for that one, right? And yes, your district may not reimburse you, but guess what? It's time for you to invest in you. So register for that conference that you need, okay? Register for that conference that you need. The next, number 2, how? Diversify your experience and showcase your leadership. You've got to begin to showcase your leadership. Dr. Pryor, what are you talking about? You're looking for a leadership position. You're looking for them to see you as a leader. That's the only way you're going to get that position, is if they see you in that position. So what that means is you got to start shining. You got to start shining. You've got to start showcasing your leadership skills. They've got to see you in that leadership position in order for them to offer that position to you. What that means is if you're in your classroom, if you're stuck in your office, if you're in that, if you're in that abandoned classroom that they turned into your office, right? You can't stay in there all day. You've got to begin to not just pour out, but to get the spotlight and highlight the things that you are doing and the lives that you are changing, what exactly you are doing, the impact that you're having in that position. So you've got to showcase your leadership. You've got to showcase your leadership. I hope you're still with me. If you're still with me, if you're watching this on replay, go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat, please. If you are watching this on replay, go ahead, drop a 1 in the chat. I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you. Because listen, I want this to be impactful. So continuous professional development. That's number one. Continuous professional development. Are you a lifelong learner? If you're a lifelong learner, let me know because I'm a lifelong learner. So are the lifelong learners in the house? If you are a lifelong learner, you love learning, you embrace learning, right? Go ahead and let me know. Type lifelong learner in the chat if you're a lifelong learner. I want to see. I want to see who's watching me tonight. Let me see the chat blow up. So if you are a lifelong learner, go ahead and type one in the chat. Type lifelong learner in the chat if you are indeed a lifelong learner. Lastly, because it is 8:53 East Coast time, right? And I'm not going to keep you on long. Lastly, you've got to understand the bigger picture and communicate the vision, right? You've got to understand the big picture and you also have to communicate the vision. What does that mean? In understanding the bigger picture, I know the goals and the guardrails of my school district. And because I know the goals and the guardrails of my school district, I'm going to make sure that the things that I do, what I plan, the activities that I plan, the things that I do are perfectly aligned, especially when I'm taking on a leadership role, right? Especially when I'm planning to lead something in my building. I'm going to make sure that what I'm doing aligns with the goals and guardrails of the district. I'm then going to, in understanding the big picture, I'm then going to make sure I communicate, with school leadership and the leadership team. The reason that this would be impactful or effective, the reason that this initiative would be impactful in the school, right, is because the goals and guardrails, goal number 3 is blah, 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 blah. And this aligns with that. Our school goal is that, 48%, I'm just pulling numbers out of the hat. 48%, we'll have a 48% increase in second grade reading at blah, 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 53% of our third graders will read at the third grade level by the end of the school year. So the spelling bee helps them blah, blah, blah. Or the reading incentives, the reading incentive idea that I have, right? That helps with that goal. Make sure you understand that bigger picture and not just understand the big picture, but communicate said understanding. Okay. I hope everyone understood. I'm just pulling these examples. I'm making these examples up. So, I hope I am making sense to everyone. But we've really got to make sure that you understand the bigger picture and you communicate that vision. I hope I'm helping someone. This is exactly what needs to happen in order to secure that leadership position. You've got to make sure they see you as a leader first. They've got to see you as the leader, as a leader first. Okay. All right. So with that, with understanding the bigger picture, make sure you know your institution's goals, make sure you articulate your vision, and make sure the next key to that, make sure you seek feedback. You've got to seek feedback, okay? Ask how you're doing. Regularly seek feedback, not just from your principal, but from your peers and your principal as well. Seek feedback from the students. How am I doing? Am I communicating okay? Are you understanding, right, me when I communicate to you? Because what this does is it shows everyone humility, and it also shows everyone your willingness to grow and be vulnerable in that growth. It's nothing more valuable than an educator asking for feedback, taking that feedback and getting better. We love that in terms of leadership. So here's what I'm saying to you. Climbing the ranks in education is not just about time served, right? That's why a lot of mid-year educators are like, look, I should be the principal. I've been in this 20 years. I get it. But it's not just about time served. It's about the impact that you made while serving. It's also about the vision that's shared. It's also about the continuous quest for growth and development. So don't stop learning and growing. So with passion, perseverance, and these steps, these strategic steps, right? You guys will find yourself in influential positions that are going to shape the future of learning itself. Listen, I hope I'm helping you. This is what I want to do. And I failed to do this yesterday, but this is what I want to do. I know you're like, look, Dr. Pride, all of this sounds great, but how, like, I know what I need to do. I have no idea where to begin. Guess what? This is Principles Month, right? And so what I'm doing this month, right? I'm opening up an opportunity to sit with me as the coach and to hash out a strategic plan for your advancement. The strategic plan is personalized to where you are right now in this moment and where you're trying to go. You don't create this with me. I create this for you. We then sit down. It's a done for you service. We then sit down together. And then, of course, we make the tweaks and changes according to what you want and your vision and where you're trying to go. This is what we call a career strategy session. I'm opening back up because we've had an influx of principals that are now in the BEC. We are almost at 600 members strong. So I'm opening the career strategy session up to all of my educators in the BEC. I've got 10 slots available, only 10 slots. And I want you to drop in one of those 10 slots so that I can work with you personally, one-to-one, to look at where you are and to get you to where you're trying to go. First and foremost, you already know those who fail to plan to fail. So what if you could sit back and your plan be presented to you, gift wrapped in a beautiful bow? All you got to do is go through it with me, tell me the tweaks, I tweak it right there on spot, and then of course it is yours to carry out. That's exactly what educators need, because I know how busy you are. You don't have the time to create a plan for yourself, but you need to plan in order to successfully leap into the position of your choice. So I do the plans for you. I take that burden away from you. As your coach, I come up with the plan, and all you got to do is run the play. So look, I'm dropping right now in the chat. I'm dropping the link in the chat. It's the link to the strategy sessions, right? What I want you to do is go ahead and book a strategy session with me right now. I only have 10 slots. That's all the time that I can dedicate, as I do have people right now in the Leadership Academy. And so I don't have a lot of time, so I only have 10 slots available. Go ahead and book a strategy session with me so that we can take your career. We can plan to take your career to the next level. You need this plan. You need this plan. And I know you don't have the time to create the plan. So I'm going to dedicate my time to helping you plan for your next level. All right, guys. The career strategy session is open at this time. I just dropped the link in the chat. I want you to book a career strategy session with me, and make sure you are one of the 10. The 10 slots, that's all I have. That is really all I have. I opened up more than that last month. I can't, I mean, they were taken, my time is gone. And so I'm opening up 10 more slots this month. That's all we have. So make sure you jump in there. Once the 10 slots are gone, that's it. This is going to go away. So make sure you are one of the 10 to get in. All right, guys, look, I hope this was impactful. Rewind, take notes, do everything you can, and drop in my DMs if need be. Book a strategy session with me. You don't have to create the strategy. Dr. Pride will create the strategy for you. And all you got to do is carry out the plan. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later. Tomorrow, it's really important. Tomorrow, I need you to be in the building. Why? Because we're talking about how do you leap out of education tomorrow. So today was, I want to move up in education. Tomorrow, I'm giving you the same quality of tips and tricks and strategies, always high quality in the BEC. about how to move out of traditional education and secure non-traditional education positions. We're getting the bag this month. It is our 6-figure success month for all educators. Stay tuned. Have a great night. Get some sleep.